Hello there and welcome back to my channel. Let's start by looking back at what I did last time. I made a bunch of mushroom and I also made a box to glaze them in, because many of the mushroom have to be standing when you glaze them. Otherwise the glaze will just stick to the kiln. I made the mushroom and the box of stoneware clay, and the good thing with this box is that you can use it to many other different projects too, not just mushroom. So give it a minute and we'll go on from there. I let the box dry, and the mushroom of course too, for almost a week, and then I put it in a bisque fire. And this is what it looks like when it has been bisque fired. After that I remove it and it's time for me to start glazing. The glaze I use is all kinds of natural looking glazes: green, brown, orange, red. And this glaze is actually more meant for dipping, not brushing, but it works really well also. One thing that I noticed was, if I stand here and brush the glaze on, there's a big chance of dripping into the box, and that will actually be like glue. So I had to move the box and do the glazing on the side of the box. I don't glaze the whole stem because it has to lean against the box, and I don't want any glazing on the box. You can of course also use stains, oxides, and mix different glazes together, but there's always a chance that even the best glaze will get runny if you mix it with something else. You don't really know how they will react together. There is of course one other thing that I also have to be careful about. If I make really big mushrooms and let's say the stem is not that thick, they might bend, and they might also stick to the box. The small mushrooms I don't even have to put inside of the box because they can stand by themselves. It's important that you use right kind of glaze. If you have a stoneware clay, you need glazing for stoneware that can withstand higher temperatures, and if you use earthenware, you need a glaze for a little bit lower temperatures. If you use a brush like I do, it's also important that you don't spoil your glazing by ruining it with different kinds of glazes. So if you have a dirty brush, remember to wash it between the different glazes. Not all colors look the same when you brush them on and actually open up the kiln afterwards, but orange and red are usually the same color, even in the bucket and afterwards. It's always important when you glaze that you don't breathe in the dust of the glaze, because there's a lot of dangerous chemicals in many glazes. So always use a mask. And actually, it's really good also to have gloves on. I now put a little bit of a different glazing on something I already glazed, but as you can see, I don't dip the brush anymore in the big bucket. And now it's time for the last fire. I then check a few times that nothing touches, and when everything looks okay, I of course load the kiln with more stuff and then burn it in 1250 degrees centigrade. The kiln has now cooled and it's time to open it up. And this is what it looks like. Some of the mushroom had actually stuck a little bit to the box, not because of the glaze, but they have been bending a little bit. I could just loosen them just by using my own hand, but the last one I actually had to use a piece of wood to knock it loose. Be careful, but it's really easy to get it done. And this is now the final result. So I can have them outside, and as you can see, I can push the whole thing straight into the ground and leave them even for the winter if I want to. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you make yourself some mushroom too. Bye bye.